okay, this is actually something I wanted to touch on.
Hmm.
I think it's a little bit trendy right now, but I'm personally a very big fan of the monotone
Okay.
color palette. I think this is a really interesting example because I actually think a lot of the other websites that I would think of that are monotone use a little bit of a gradient. Whereas here I'm seeing kind of this one green and white pretty much. Um, I mean, they're using imagery to switch it up a little bit and add in that texture, but very interesting use.
Yeah, I love monotone. I think it brings an interesting question about accessibility, because not everyone can see all of the different shades or of a color as easily as someone else. But personally, I think it looks beautiful to see different shades of the same, what people call the same color side by side. And I think you can get a pretty dramatic effect when you do that. Because if you think about, the world around you, I'm looking at a wall, it's white, but really what I see some shadows and I see some warmer parts and some cooler parts. And like the world is not a single blue. And so if you have sort of that monotone of those different gradients or color blocked gradients, I don't know, it feels natural to me. Not necessarily like natural, like organic, but natural as though you're in the real world.
Yeah. Do you think when colors are too trendy, do you think you can accidentally design yourself into a time capsule where, like, 15 years from now, looking back, would monotones have the same feeling, or would it feel like, oh, there's some 1970s design or whatever, pick whatever design period you don't like?
I think no matter what you're designing for the current trends, even if you're like, I'm not doing that, you are. And you sort of can't really avoid it because, there's new technology in how websites are designed and what computers are capable of showing. And so, it's like we look at the screen and we think it's not pixelated and like our pictures quality is really good. And then we look at the same video in 5 years and we're like, that was horrible. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Or like your internet speed and things like that. So I don't really, yes, I think you can design yourself into a hole, but I don't really think there's any way of avoiding that.
Gotcha.